Hello friends, welcome to my channel Tech Talk. Today we are going to discuss part 8 structural directives. Before proceed to this video, please watch the 7th part two-way data binding. I will share the link in description box. What is structural directives? Structural directives is used to change the DOM by adding and removing DOM element. It is used to hide or display the things on DOM. Structural directives is preceded by the asterisk symbol. Built-in structural directives. There are four types of built-in structural directives: ngIf, ngIfElse, ngFor, ngSwitch. So let's discuss ngIf. ngIf is used to display or hide the DOM element based on the expression value assigned to it. Syntax is asterisk ngIf equal to assign boolean value. If we set true to ngIf, then this div gets rendered into DOM tree. If we assign false to this ngIf, then this div does not get rendered into DOM tree. ngIfElse. ngIfElse work like if-else statement. If condition is true, then if DOM element is rendered, else the other DOM element is rendered. Syntax is asterisk ngIf equal to assign boolean value true or false, semicolon, else id selector. Then you have to add ng template hash id selector. This id you have to specify here id selector, and this is same you have to add here. Okay, and this we will assign using the template reference variable. Next is ngFor. ngFor is used to loop through the list in the DOM. It will loop you the one by one item which whatever item you have into list. So it will loop through the all items. Syntax is star ngFor equal to let item of item list. This item list we have to define into component.ts. ngSwitch. ngSwitch is used to choose between multiple case statement. Syntax is square bracket ngSwitch close the square bracket equal to assign the expression. Then inner div you can specify the multiple cases like ngSwitch case equal to expression 1, ngSwitch case equal to expression 2, and lastly you have to define ngSwitch default. This is our default case. Okay, so let's move to the practical part. Here I have created Angular application. First we will discuss ngIf. Okay, for this I will add h1 tag and just print this is first start ngIf div, and here I will add the ngIf structural directives and I will set it to true. Same I will copy and paste below. Difference is I will set it here false and just change the message. Let's save it. Go to the browser. You can see only one div gets printed. That is, this is our first ngIf div, because here we have set true, and with wherever we have set false, then this div this h1 tag does not get rendered. Okay, so in browser we will see, if we inspect the element, we have set if to this h1, only this h1 gets rendered into DOM. Other h1 does not get rendered because we have set it to false. Let's understand the next ngIfElse. For this I will add one div. Okay, and we'll add ngIf decorator, assign true to it, else here I have to add id of our ng template, so I will specify else div. Okay, and to highlight this I will add h1 tag. This is if div. Let's save it. Add the ng template below this to execute the else part. In this same also I will add the h1 tag and will print This is else div, and we will assign same ID using the template reference variable to ng template. Let's save it. Go to the browser. Here you can see this is our if div, because here ngIf is true. If this condition does not get executed, means it is false, then else will execute. This h1 gets printed. Let's save it. Go to browser. Here we go. Second div will get print. Now we will discuss ngFor. For this, go to the component, and here we will create the student array. Student, which is of any type. Here we will create just dummy data. Name equal to John. Let's copy this. We'll add second name Julie. We'll add third name Roast. We'll iterate this all record using the ngFor. So I will add ngFor, div tag. We'll add ngFor at a structural directives equal to let item of students. This is our list. Let's make it students. Save all. We are getting one by one item, means one by one row into this item. So we have to print student name. So I will add item dot name. Let's save it. Go to the browser. Here you can see student name list gets printed one by one. Let's discuss ngSwitch. For this also I have to create one items array which is of any data type, and here also I will prepare some dummy data. Name is 1, value is 1. This data I am preparing for the drop down list. Here I will create one drop down list, and depends on the drop down selection I will execute the switch cases. So for this I will prepare this data for drop down. 2, 3. Okay, we have added 3 records, and to capture the drop down selected value I have to create one one property with selected value, which is of number property, and we'll assign 1 to it. Go to the HTML. Let's add the select, which is for drop down, and we have to specify here ng model to capture the updated selected value of this list. So I will assign selected value property to it. Let's close this, and in this we will add options. Option star ngFor equal to let item of items. This is our array, and here we will print item dot name, and here also we have to write value equal to item dot value, because we have to capture the selected value. So I have assigned here value property of our array, this one. Let's save it. Below for ngSwitch case I will add another div, square bracket ngSwitch equal to, here I have to assign expression. On this we will add the switch cases, and we will execute the switch cases. So I'm adding the selected value of our drop down. We'll add nested div here. Here we will add ngSwitch expression, ngSwitch case. If our selected value is 1, then we have to print 1 is selected. Same for second, we will add If selected value is 2, then we have to print 2 is selected. And lastly, we will add the ngSwitch default. I will remove this and just add ngSwitch default. We will print default option. Okay, let's save it. Go to the browser. Okay, here you can't see the names because here we have mistake of you have to write. You can see here drop down list gets added. We have 3 records, and now we initially we have assigned one value to selected. That's why we will see 1 is selected. If I select 2, then it will print 2 is selected. We haven't added a case for 3, so default option will get executed. Suppose I will create 3, I will select 3, then you can see default option. Okay, so that's all from this video. If you have any question or concern, please contact me via this email or comment on this video. I will get back to you. Thank you. Happy learning.